Hello. Okay, so trying to start a nutrition and fitness series. Fitness nutrition has always been something that's resonated with me. It has changed my life, especially during honestly all my cancer treatments. And I think I've kind of lost sight of it the past 6 months, I would say. It's so ironic, but I've been a health coach for a few years. I think this past year I got burnt out and I took on too much, and it's hard to admit or even see because I was a health coach and I think I was just focusing on everybody else other than myself. I think I didn't know how to cope with the day. I didn't know what to do, so I would just turn my brain off and I would eat mindlessly. And recently I've been like when I would see myself in the mirror, I don't know if I recognize myself that much. And even when I step on the scale, I'm like, oh my God, this is the heaviest I've been in 3 years. And it's not necessarily about the weight, because I do think that the weight can fluctuate, and I don't think that a number on the scale can tell you the full picture, but it does indicate and reflect the unconscious behavior that's been going on. Sometimes after food I get really, really tired because certain foods are just making me feel not so good, or my acid reflux is kind of back. So there's a lot of different pieces of the puzzle where I'm man, I really got to make a change. I'm scared about failing, honestly speaking. And it's not that I haven't done this before. During the pandemic, I really worked hard to kind of get to a place of just good health. Or when I say good health, I mean it in the way of things that just felt good to me. But it's been so long that I think I've lost some confidence in myself. I've lost some faith in myself. And so I'm trying to rebuild that. And I think doing that on social media and doing that with people is kind of scary, because it's dang, if I make a mistake, that is something I would want to also record, because I think it would be not authentic if I just talked about the things I'm doing right. And I don't think that's also just not how things work. That's not how habits are created. That's not how change is made, right? I want to really show what that looks like authentically behind the screen. I'm taking this week to figure out how to play around with what works and what doesn't work for me. For me to achieve fat loss with being 5'2", with being on medications that put me in chemical menopause, I do need to be mindful of what I put into my body. It needs to be sustainable for me. But when it comes to chips, I do get very all or nothing with it. So I do plan on cold turkeying snacks. But when it comes to processed food versus natural food, it's gonna be the 80-20% rule, right? Having 80% whole foods and then 20% kind of having food that's not natural. So I'm gonna try to be using the 80-20 rule. I think that's gonna be very sustainable for me. And when it comes to nutrition, that's really the thing I need to work on most. When it comes to fitness, I just ended my my gym membership. It was getting too expensive. They increased the prices, and so I was not feeling this. And it's really, really cold right now in Chicago. So I'm just planning on just working out at home for the time being. I don't think this is going to be a forever decision, just for right now. I want to try doing Insanity again. I do think that that's very intense. And I don't think Insanity is necessarily the most sustainable thing. So I don't think I would ever recommend that to anybody, if I'm being honest with you. But it is something that I did during the pandemic, which also felt really good to me. It was really hard the first week, and it was still hard other days, but it got really doable, and I started feeling really light, and I just felt good in my body. I don't know if that's gonna work now because I'm in a different place. I do have I've had back injuries and knee injuries, so I need to be careful because there's a lot of jumping. So really this week is the trial period, and I'm gonna take you through the trial period as well, because I think it's cool to see what works, what doesn't work, and I'm not gonna be so hard on myself right now. And then as I discover what works for myself this week, I think I'm gonna really have a very set plan of what I need to do moving forward. I'm excited to feel good in my skin. I'm excited to feel wake up and be wow, I'm energetic. Feel energetic throughout the day, have meals and still feel good afterward. And I'm also gonna be focusing a lot on my spirituality, because I think meditating, grounding myself, still focusing a lot on spirituality will help me remember who I am, because I genuinely believe I'm much more than this body. But I want to also feel good in my body every single day, because that is what I need to live in every single day, right? So I'm excited to focus on this, but not have it be everything, which is what I've done in the past. So I'm excited to have that balance and have the balance of working on myself physically, but also still working on myself spiritually, still working on myself mentally, doing the Fearless series. So I'm excited to kind of put everything together.